Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're creating this soft editorial doll inspired makeup look while talking about one of the biggest beauty conversation I've been seeing online lately. The transition blushes. Painted by Esther and the discussion surrounding Patrick Top. To prep my skin, I'm starting off with the NYX primer. Then I'm gonna go in with the contour before moving on to blush because blush is really the star of today's conversation. Now, blush placements is one of those things that's super personal. Some people place it high on the cheekbones for a lifted effect, and others place it in the temples, and some prefer a lower placement. One creator who became especially known for her blush placement is Painted by Esther. She often brings the blush much closer to the under eye area, creating that seamless gradient effect between complexion and the blush. Esther herself took it to social media saying she didn't invent blush draping or transitional blush, but many people believe she played a huge role in popularizing this specific style and bringing it to a wider audience online. For me, I understand why so many people were frustrated. A lot of people felt that the effect being marketed could already be achieved using products they had at home. Blush, powder, concealer, bronzer, and foundation. Many makeup artists have been using these same products to create soft transitions for years. So when transition blushes were released as a separate product category and sold at a luxury price point, so many people questioned if whether they were really necessary. Others felt the larger issues was recognition. The conversation became less about the blush itself and more about who gets acknowledged when a technique becomes profitable. And honestly, that's one reason I wanted to make this video, because what we're calling transitional blush is just a technique. For today's look, I'm starting with the Juvia's Place Dahlia blush. Dahlia gives me the rich flush of color and I'm concentrating it towards the outer portion of the cheek. Then I'm layering Pink Lady closer to the under eye area to soften everything and create more of a seamless transition. To help blend everything together, I'm going in with my Fit Me Concealer that's closest to my skin tone. This helps soften the edges and create more of a smoother gradient between the blush and the rest of the complexion. After that, I'm applying the brightening e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Then I like to take a beauty blender and gently blend over everything to create a seamless finish before moving into powder products. The conversation became less about the blush itself and more about who gets acknowledged when a technique becomes profitable. And honestly, that's one reason I wanted to make this video, because what we are calling transition blush is just technique. Right here, I'm using products I already own. I'm using Dahlia, Pink Lady, and a skin tone concealer, a brightening concealer, and a powder to create the same seamless gradient effect. By strategically placing the blush and blending the edges, you can create a smooth transition between under eye area, the complexion, and the cheek without buying an entirely new product category. At the end of the day, the products help, but the artistry is what makes the look and The placement, the blending, and the technique are doing most of the heavy lifting. Now let's move on to eyes. Started out with the P. Louise eyeshadow base, then went in with the shade Descent from Blends Bunny and Ellis palette. I followed with the shade Voyage to build depth and dimension, and followed it with the shade called Presence mixed with Figment to blend out the outer edges and give it a diffuse look. For the lower lash line, I wanted a pop of color, so I went in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. Then I layered a teal P. Louise eyeshadow base and set everything with the shade Cosmic. I love how the cool tones in the eyes contrast with the warmth and softness of the blush. The entire look feels creative, doll-inspired, and editorial while still being wearable. Let me know what you guys think about the Patrick Ta conversation, the transition blushes, and whether you think this effect requires new product category or technique is really the secret behind this look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!